So, you want to introduce yourself?
The woman that needs no introduction, Mickie James, everybody's favorite knockout. I'm here with the ladies. I came to give you guys some visual stimulation here. You know.
And how long have you been in the wrestling business?
Oh God, I started training in late '98 and had my first match March 3rd, 1999. It was me and Jake Damien against American Mike Brown with Candy.
What organization was that?
Can you believe I remember that? That was the school I started out. It was called Kaita Pro. And I trained there for about a year, and then I transferred schools to Maryland Championship Wrestling, which was Bone Breakers at the time, and Danny McDivitt ran it. And trained there for pretty much the whole time until I got hired, and was still doing like Ring of Honor and TNA and then WWE.
And you were under a different name in Ring of Honor, right?
I did. I was Alexis Lurie.
Okay.
Lurie's my real middle name. Alexis is not my name. Sod.
How long were you with Ring of Honor?
I was probably working with them for about a year prior to, and then started working with TNA in between for like 6 months before I got hired with WWE.
And how did that come about?
Tryout after bothering Dr. Tom for probably 2 years straight, every 2 weeks, and calling him and sending him other tapes and calling him again. Until finally, it was the same, it was August, my birthday month, and then they called me, and then Johnny called me up on the phone, and yeah, it was pretty awesome. And I was in between contracts at TNA anyway, so it just worked out. It just happened to be one of those things. It was awesome.
And TNA is your main company at the moment?
Yeah, that's where I am right now, enjoying it. So
has it changed from the first time you were there?
Absolutely. I mean, when I was first there, we were wrestling at the fairgrounds, and you know, we're doing every Wednesday the pay-per-views, and it's just grown so much since then. You know, now it's nationally and globally. In England and all across the UK, we have some of the highest ratings as far as wrestling shows go, as solid on Challenge TV, and yeah, it's doing really, really well. And to see how much it's grown in the last 10 years, and I've been a part of it at the very beginning stages, and to be a part of it now, and where it's gone, and it's pretty incredible. And I can't wait to see, as it grows more, what it's going to be like in the next 5 years, 10 years. Not that I'll be there, because you know, probably might be old by then. Probably won't be knockout standards. I don't know. Just kidding. I'll still be hot. I just will be grizzled, more grizzled than I already am.
What was your WWE experience like?
It was amazing. It was, you know, it was something that I dreamed about and wanted for so long. And when the opportunity finally presented itself, and I was very blessed and very fortunate to have that, because for every one of me that gets a chance like that, there's 100 girls, 100 guys that want that chance, and so. I thank God every day for that, you know. So it was just like one of those things. And then by the time I got there, I'd had a lot of experience and had a lot of people help me along the way, and enough training to the sense of, like, I felt like when I got there, I was almost, as my ex-trainer would say, you'll be over-prepared for anything they throw at you, which was really, you know, I was frustrated and sitting and training and waiting, but in the end, it really was a blessing in disguise, because by the time I got there, I was able to make the most of every single moment. And it worked out pretty darn well for me.
Are the women treated differently in the companies?
I think that women in any male-dominated or male heavily influenced sport are treated differently in the aspect that they have different expectations. You know, maybe they're not, perhaps in their in-ring ability, the expectations aren't so high. So when there's a girl that can go in there and be just as good as the guys, it really is impressive and it stands out. But in the sense of, I mean, you have to recognize that it is a male-dominated sport, and we are women. I don't expect myself to go fighting for the heavyweight championship anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like, I fight for the women's championship, and I'm very proud of that. And I think it's cool that we as women can build this strong foundation and a kind of a guiding thing of the generations to come. So if we can set the bar and set the standard, that's a good thing.
Is it different in TNA for the women? It seems like they have a little more focus on them, take it a little more seriously.
You know, I was very I was very fortunate, because my tenure in WWE was very influenced by the wrestling and not just by the non-wrestling aspect, if you will. And so for me, it's hard to compare because I haven't been there in the times where it wasn't a focus. But for TNA, definitely right now, like, I mean, the women are definitely on the forefront as far as being very heavily influenced in not just the ratings, and recognize that the females bring a fair amount of the ratings in the show, but we get more time and a decent amount of time to tell stories within our matches and be able to put out on a very credible and kick-ass match, if you will. Kick butt. Kick butt.
Highlights from your career?
Oh man, I've had so many. Like, honestly, it's hard to just pinpoint. Like,
that's
obviously, WrestleMania was a huge highlight for me. My very first WrestleMania. I mean, I cried like a baby when I came in the back. My mom was there, front row, and it was like the culmination of all these dreams and aspirations and years of hard work. So obviously, I think that one kind of stands as the pinnacle, or as like a really hard one to top in that thing. But I've had some amazing matches with some amazing people. One of my best matches ever was against Beth Phoenix in Alaska, and it wasn't even recorded. You know, it's like, but we probably went 15 minutes, and that was a lot of time for girls on a house show or live event, if you will. And we just told a hell of a story, and it got to the point where she and I could just go out there and we could read each other's body language and movements so well that it was like a dance. Like, it really was. It was awesome. And then, yeah, I got to wrestle Lita in her retirement match, and main evented Impact with Tara in a cage match.
Yeah, that was really
which
memorable.
Was one of my, like, that's definitely up there at the pinnacle with WrestleMania as far as one of my. I'd never wrestled in a cage match. And just the only hardcore other matches I've done were like ladders and stuff like that, but you know, they weren't televised, so it's okay. And they were pretty rotten, because I was rotten. No.
And you did the dive off the cage at
that
the
was
end
so
there.
scary. It gave me a newfound respect for, like, when Kurt Angle will do a moonsault off the top, or
right.
like, you know, you see the guys get up there and do it all the time. They jump off the top of the cage like it's nothing all the time. At least in every single match, you're going to see somebody come off the top of the cage. So I'm thinking, oh, no big deal. I can do it. I'm pretty tough, you know. And I get up there and I'm like, I look down on the one. I remember straddling the cage. Watch it. Straddling the cage, and I look down to the one side to the floor, and I'm like, holy crap, that's really far. And then I'm like, okay, I hope this. And then I turn to the inside, and I'm like, it's just as far. It's just as far. So, but I was already committed at that point, so there was no turning back. I just see, crawled back down the other side. I was just kidding. Jump off the top. Yeah.
All right. What about contact info? Where can people find you online?
Obviously, Mickie James is my Twitter handle. It's very easy to find. MickieJames.com. Or pretty much anything Mickie James, you got it. I think my Facebook fan page is Mickie L. James. For Lurie. L is for Lurie.
And are you still doing music
Lovely.
as well?
I am, actually. We're getting ready to go back in the studio in a month to start shooting finishing up the second album, which hopefully, we were hoping to release it further in the year, but as time goes on, I think we're going to be pushing it towards January next year as a new release for the full-on album, and I got some other exciting stuff in the works. So, yeah, I'm excited. It's been wonderful. Very, very excited.